Good morning, Rajesh.
ॐ शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्ज सम्भावितललाटकम् हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீர்யம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிரக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தயே जगदः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुवमभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറു പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കുന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, we'll do a review of 44 and then maybe the first 6 stanzas we did of 45. Maybe Amruta ji, can you do 44 and Lalita Rajagopal and you can do 45.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Dasakam 44. Namakarnam Jadagapala Kadanam Cha Kutam Vasude
அது கூடம் வசுதேவகிர.
गुडं वसुदेवगिरा कर्तुं ते निष्क्रियस्य संस्कारान् हृत्कदहोरा तत्त्वकर्कमुनिः त्वद्गृहं विभो कदवान् नन्दोदनन्दिदात्मा वृन्दिष्टं मानयन्नमं यमिनां मन्दस्मितात्रमूचे त्वत्संस्कारकान् विदातुं उत्सुकदिः यद्वंशाचार्यत्वात् सुनिपृतम् इदम् आर्य कार्यमिति कथयन् कर्को निर्गतपुलकः चक्रे तवसाग्र चस्य नामानि कथमस्य नाम कुर्वे सहस्रनाम्नो ह्यनन्दनाम्नो वा इति नूनं कर्गमुनिः चक्र तव नाम नाम रगसि विभो.
சக்ரே, அந்த செகண்ட் லைன், சக்ரே தவ.
चक्रे तव नाम नाम रगसि विभो कृषितादूत् नकाराभ्यां चन्दा नन्दात्मतां किलापि लभत् जगदग कर्षित्वां वा कथयत् ऋषिः कृष्ण नाम ते व्यदनोत्.
And the first line, Sattanandatmatam, and the word you added an extra in when you said it. Sattanandatmatam.
Sattanandatma tam kilabilabat अन्यांश्च नाम पेतान् व्याकुर्वन् अक्रेजश्च रामादीन् अधिमानुषानुभावं न्यक्कदत्त्वाम् अप्रकाशयन् पित्रे स्निह्यति यस्तव पुत्रे मुह्यति स न मायिकै पुनः शोकैः त्रिह्यति यस्य तु नश्येत् इत्यवदत्ते महत्वं ऋषिवर्यः.
Second line, chinna correction. Druhyati. Okay.
Drihyati.
No. Dru, oo sound. You are saying it's dru. Dru sound.
Druhyati. Druhyati yassa tu nasyet ityavadatte mahatvam rishivaryah cheshyadi bahudara daityan neshyadi nijabandhulokam amalapadam shroshyadi सुविमलकीर्ति रस्येति भवत् विभूतिं ऋषिरुचे अमूनैव सर्वदुर्गं तरिदास्थ कृदास्तमत्र तिष्ठत्वं हरिरे वेद्यन् अभिलपन् इत्यादि त्वां वर्णयत् स मुनिः कर्केत निर्कदेस्मिन् नन्दित नन्दादि नन्द्यमानस्त्वं मुत्कद करुणो निर्गमय श्रीमारुत्पुराधीश कृष्ण.
Very good. I mean, this chapter, this Dasakam, because it's little bit, it feels little difficult to land it. The only takeaway is if you say it continuously without having to pause, like in between continuous, then it will land properly. Okay. But sometimes if you slow down in a word or you pause in between, and suddenly you'll feel like you're off tune, off that. But that's okay. I think the more you practice, you did it well. That it feels little hard, but it is straightforward Dasakam though.
Okay. ராகம் கொஞ்சம் வர மாட்டேங்குது.
அது வந்து அது கண்டினியூஸா சொல்லிட்டே if you say it then it will land properly.
Okay.
அது கொஞ்சம் if you slow down a word here and there, right, then it will feel like it's going off. அவ்வளவுதான்.
Thank you.
दशकं 45 कृष्णस्य बालक्रीडा वर्णनम्. अयि सबलमुरारे वाणिजानुप्रचारैः किमपि भवनभागान् भूषयन्तो भवन्तो చలిత శరణ కంజో మంజు మంజీరషించ శ్రవణ పుదుక పాచో శేరదు చారు వేగాద మృదు మృదు వికసంద ఉన్మిషత్తందవంతౌ వదన పతిత కేశౌ దృశ్య పాదాబ్జదేశౌ భుజకలితకరాంద వ్యాలగత్కంగనాగౌ మతిం హరతముచ్చై పశ్యతాం విశ్వనృణాం అనుసరతి जनौगे कौतुकव्याकुलेक्षे किमपि कृतनिनादं व्यागसन्धौ द्रवन्तौ वलितवदनपद्मं पृष्ठतो दत्तृष्टि किमिव न विद्याते कौतुकं वासुदेव दृगदिषु पदन्तौ उत्थितौ लिप्तपङ्गौ दिवि मुनिभिरवङ्गैः तिरङ्गैः स्मितं वन्द्यमानौ धृतमत जननीभ्यां सानुकम्बं गृहीतौ मुहुरविपरिरप्तौ द्राग्युवां शुम्बितौ च
Lalita, the first line,
Yeah.
yeah, patantau uttitau, you said two different words, right? And the
Yeah.
au and wu, it'll get merged, becomes patanta vuttitau.
Okay. धृदः दिश पदन्त उत्थितौ लिप्तपङ्गौ
Yeah.
देवि मुनिवीरवङ्गैः स्मितं वन्द्यमानौ धृतमत जननीभ्यां सानुगम्बं गृहीतौ मुहुरविपरिरब्धौ द्राग्युवां शुम्बितौ च श्रुतकुशपरमङ्गे धारयन्ति भवन्तं तरलमति यशोदास्तन्यता धन्यधन्या कपटशुभमध्ये मुक्तहासाङ्गुरं ते दशनमुकुलहृद्यं वीक्ष्य वक्त्रं जघर्ष तदनुचरणचारी तारकैः साकमारान् निलयददिषु केलन् बालचापल्यशाली भवनशुकविडालान् वत्सकांशचानुधावन् कथमपि कृतहासैर्गोपकैर्वारितो भूः.
I think that's it. We stop. And the third line, yeah, we said like bidalan is also correct only, but for consistency, we'll use bilalan. Okay,
Oh,
third line,
Bilalan. Okay.
first word.
We can use bidalan also. Okay.
Vidalan is also, it means the same thing. It referring to Shuka referring to the parrots and Vidalan referring to the cats. But
Okay, yeah. In my
Vidalan,
book, it's a
Vilalan,
Bidalan.
both are correct. But
Mhm.
I'm just saying for consistency, we'll use Vilalan. That's it. Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay,
All
thank
right. All right. So let's continue with 7 here. Let me see who I had today. Shailaja, no, them is not on. Okay. Most of the people I wanted to have today are not on. Okay. Anyway, Shailaja, Praveen, you can be student, and Vijay, you can be student. Okay, stanza 7. Haladhara sahitastvam yatra yatropyato vivashapatitanetras tatraiva gopyah bigalita grihakritya vismruta patyabhrityaha murahara muhuratyantakula nityamasan. So you're kind of seeing in this Dasakam 45, you're seeing all the Krishna and Balarama growing up, right? And we saw how they were first, crawling, and then, they started beginning to walk. And then as any small child does, they begin to run, and they were dragging all these, the cats and the calves and everything, and they were running around them. So here it again talks about Haladhara is the one who carries the Hala, which is Balarama. So he says, wherever your elder brother Balarama goes, Krishna, of course, you used to naturally follow him. So you both always used to hang out together. And wherever you both go, the Gopika's eyes also start following them, because that's all the Gopikas used to do. The Krishna and Balarama used to keep them busy. So they used to always follow wherever you and, Balarama go, or Krishna. And, any activity of Krishna, like we said, there's an entire, at least in Narayaneeyam, there are 10 stanzas dedicated. In Bhagavatam, there are more stanzas dedicated just to talk about how Krishna is walking, how Krishna is sitting, how Krishna is crawling. Because anything related to Krishna is good to hear, it's good to talk about, and it's also interesting to people, right? So similarly, for the Gopikas who were there, just observing what Krishna was doing was also very exciting, right? So they used to always keep observing Krishna. And what they used to also do, it talks about, is they also go to Yashoda and keep talking to her about Krishna, saying, Krishna came to my house today, he did all these things. So even Yashoda used to love, hearing all the things about Krishna, and they all used to stop everything that they are doing and then always used to be getting involved in Krishna, which was the most important thing. So unconsciously, they were all constantly thinking about Krishna all day long. Haladhara sahitastvam yatra yatropayato, comma, vivasha patita netras tatra tatraiva gopyah vigalita griha kritya Vismritapatyabhrityaha. That line is continuous. That word is continuous. Vismritapatyabhrityaha. So add a visarga there if you don't have it, comma. Murahara muhuratyantakula. One word. Muhuratyantakula nityamasan. Haladhara sahitastvam yatra yatropayato vivashapatita netras tatra tatraiva gopyah vigalita griha kritya vismrita patyabhrityaha murahara muhuratyantakula nityamasan.
Rajesh, రెండు quick things. First line, Haladara Sahitastvam Yatra Yatropayata ன்னு கொடுத்திருக்கேன் book.
Yataha kudutrupna chelappo. Just change it to yato.
And then the third line, Vikalita Griha Krityaha, அங்க ஒரு விசர்கா இருக்கா?
இல்ல அங்க விசர்ga இல்ல. அங்க வந்து if you stop there, then you add the visarga. But if you're saying, because we're saying Kritya Vismrita, then there's no visarga there.
Okay. Thank you.
फलधर सहितस्त्वं यत्र यत्रोपयातो विवशपतितनेत्रास्तत्र तत्रैव गोप्यः विगलितगृहकृत्या विस्मृतापत्यभृत्याः मुरहरमुहुरत्यन्ताकुला नित्यमासन् हलधरसहितस्त्वं यत्र यात्रोपयातो विवशपतितनेत्रास्तत्र तत्रैव गोप्यः विगलितगृहकृत्या विस्मृतापत्यभृत्याः मुरहरमुहुरत्यन्ताकुला नित्यमासन्
हलधर सहितस्त्वं यत्र यत्रोपयातो विवशपतितनेत्रास्तत्र तत्रैव गोप्यः विगलितगृहकृत्या विस्मृतापत्यभृत्याः मुरहर मुहुरत्यन्ताकुला नित्यमासन् हलधर सहितस्त्वं यत्र यत्रोपयातो विवशपतितनेत्रास्तत्र तत्रैव गोप्यः विगलितगृहकृत्या विस्मृतापत्यभृत्याः मुरहर मुहुरत्यन्ताकुला नित्यमासन्.
Translate. Pratinavanavanītam gopika dattamicchan kalapadam upagayan komalam kvapi nrityan sadaya yuvati lokairarpitam sarpirashnan kvachana nava vipakvam dugdamapyabhibhastvam. So then at some point in Krishna and Balarama, Krishna realized that he has this love for butter. So when he was small, and he's less than 3 years old, because later on we'll see what happens when he gets to 3. So when he was small, then he used to go ask for butter. So the Gopikas used to say, you have to sing something, you have to dance something. So initially Krishna used to sing and Krishna used to dance just to get that handful of butter. And Balarama also used to do that. And then they also used to enjoy dugdam. Dugdam is referring to milk, so hot milk. So this is what they used to all, because like we said, they are all cow herds. So everything revolves around milk and byproducts of milk. So butter and everything, Krishna and Balarama used to always go do all these activities with Gopikas so that they could get it. And I'm going to say the next stanza meaning also. At some point, Krishna then realized that, in my previous incarnation in Vamana Avataram, I had to go to Mahabali and beg for alms. I had to go beg. She says in Krishna Avataram, I'm not going to beg anymore. So at some point, Krishna then stopped asking for butter. He decided that it's time for me to just go take the butter, right? As if it is mine. So then Krishna, you and Balarama started going to all these houses and started stealing butter in various different ways and breaking the pots and all of that stuff. And you used to take it and then you used to go feed it, not only to your friends, but also it talks about to the monkeys and the cats and everything which are your friends also. You used to go always steal the butter and give it to them as well. प्रति नव नवनीतं गोपिका दत्तम इच्छन्, comma, Kalapadam upagayan. You can just break at that in there. Kalapadam upagayan. Komalam kwapi nrityan. Sadaya yuvati lokair arpitam. I'm just breaking at that r to be easier. Lokair arpitam sarpirashnan, comma, kwachana nava vipakvam dhugdam apyabhibhastvam. Breaking at that ma dugdam apyabhibhastvam. प्रतिनवनवनीतं गोपिका दत्तमिच्छन् कलपदमुपगायन् कोमलं क्वापि नृत्यन् सदय युवति लोकैरर्पितं सर्पिरश्नन् क्वचन नवविपक्वं दुग्धमप्यापिबस्त्वम्.
प्रतिनवनवनीतं गोपिका दत्तमिच्छन् कलपदमुपगायन् कोमलं क्वापि नृत्यन् सदय युवति लोकैरर्पितं सर्पिरश्नन् क्वचन नवविपक्वं दुग्धमप्यापिबस्त्वम्. प्रतिनवनवनीतं गोपिका दत्तमिच्छन् कलपदमुपगायन् कोमलं क्वापि नृत्यन् सदय युवति लोकैरर्पितं सर्पिरश्नन् क्वचन नवविपक्वं दुग्धमप्यापिबस्त्वम्.
प्रतिनवनवनीतं गोपिका दत्तमिच्छन् कलपडमुपगायन् कोमलं क्वापि नृत्यन् सडय युवति लोकैरर्पितं सर्पिरश्नन् वचन नवविपक्वं दुग्धमप्यापिबस्त्वम्.
Vijay, in the third line, the one I'm hearing a da sound.
Okay.
Is da dh. Ademari, I think some other word also the you said the da. But anyway, I'll correct it when you say that. Yeah.
Sure. Sadaya. Okay. प्रतिनवनवनीतं गोपिका दत्तमिच्छन् कलपद. That is that.
Yeah, that is the place you said da. Yeah.
कलपदमुपगायन् कोमलं क्वापि नृत्यन् सदय युवति लोकैरर्पितं सर्पिरश्नन् वचन नवविपक्वं दुग्धमप्यापिबस्त्वम्.
That's a nine. Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamastam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamate kim deva santyajya yachnyam dhadi ghritamaharastvam charuna choranena. So Mahabali, like the thing I said, dhadi refers to milk. Ghritam in the last line refers to ghee. So you used to steal ghee, milk, butter, all of these things, saying, I'm not going to stand in front of these gopikas and beg anymore. It's time for me to just, steal it on my own and take control. Mama khalu bali gehe yachanam jatamastam. Put a im at the end of that line and comma, jatamastam, comma. Next line, the miha becomes iha. Iha punarabalanam. Breaking at that ma balanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihita matihi. Put a h on matih kim deva santyajya yachnyam. So yachnyam yachnyam, comma, dhadi ghritam aharastvam. If you want to break at that ma ghritam aharastvam charuna choranena. Mama khalu baligehe yachanam jatamastam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamate kim deva santyajya yachnyam dadi ghritam aharastvam charuna choranena.
मम खलु बलिगेहे याचनं जातमास्ताम् इह पुनरबलानामग्रतो नैव कुर्वे इति विहितमतिः किं देव सन्त्यज्य याच्न्याम् दधिघृतमहरस्त्वं चारुणाचोरणेन मम खलु बलिगेहे याचनं जातमास्ताम् इह पुनरबलानामग्रतो नैव कुर्वे इति विहितमतिः किं देव सन्त्यज्य याच्न्यां दधिघृतमहरस्त्वं चारुणाचोरणेन
मम खलु बलिगेहे याचनं जातमास्ताम् इह पुनरबलानाम् अग्रतो नैव कुर्वे इति विहितमतिः किं देव सन्त्यज्य याचनां दधिघृतमहरस्त्वं चारणेन
Choranena.
अचोरणेन.
And third line, last word, yachnyam. So, like, I'll just type it in the chat.
Yachnyam. Okay.
Yeah, so it's YACHNYAM. Yachnyam.
Yeah. Mama kalu baligehe yachanam jatamastam iha punarabalanam agrato naiva kurve iti vihitamati kim deva santyajya yachnyam. Can you say
Correct.
that again?
Yachnyam.
याच्न्यां दधिघृतमहरस्त्वं चारुणा चोरणेन.
That's it. तवधधिघृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजदहृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं सममशमय रोगान् वातगेहाधिनाथ. So even though Krishna and Balarama used to steal all this butter and milk and ghee, there was never any shokam or sorrow or any anger in the hearts of the Gopikas. In fact, they used to enjoy these activities that Krishna and Balarama used to do. And then, but little bit Krishna and Balarama are smaller now. So, at that time, they used to fear, worrying that these Gopikas used to complain to Yashoda. So they used to enjoy that look on the face of Krishna and Balarama. And even when they went and complained to Yashoda, Yashoda didn't care. She's going to care in the next Dasakam. But in this Dasakam, Yashoda does not care when Krishna and Balarama stole all the butter and ghee. And they all used to enjoy those childhood activities. So with that, this Dasakam comes to an end. But like I said, there are two more stanzas. So that's why Bhattripad says, Samama Shamaya Rogan Ugrvarapa, please eradicate my ailments also, and get rid of all the diseases. Tava Dhadi Ghrita Moshe Ghosha Yosha Jananam, put a im at the end of that line, comma, Jananam. Next line, the ma becomes a. Abhajata Hridi Rosho Navakasham na Shokaha Hridayamapi Mushitva Harsha Sindhau Nyadhas Tvam, comma, Samama Shamaya Rogan Vata Gehadi Natha. So it's just a tha at the end, not ta. So make sure you don't say the a at the end. Tavadhadighritamoshe ghoshayosha jananam abhajadahृदि rosho navakasham na shokaha hridayamapi mushitva harsha sindhau nyadhastvam samamashamaya rogan vata gehadhinatha.
तव दधिघृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं सममशमय रोगान् वातगेहातिनाथ तव दधिघृतमोषे घोषयोषा जनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं सममशमय रोगान् वातगेहादिनाथ.
तव दधिघृतमोसे घोषयो साजनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदिस्त्वं सममशमय रोगान् वातगेहादिनाथ.
The third line, last word, Nyadhastvam.
Nyadashtvam. Okay, sorry. Nyadashtvam. तव दधिकृतमोषे घोषयो साजनानाम् अभजत हृदि रोषो नावकाशं न शोकः हृदयमपि मुषित्वा हर्षसिन्धौ न्यदास्त्वं समम समयरोगान् वातगेहादिनाथ.
Okay, so I sent the two stanzas. I don't know if your books have 11 and 12, so otherwise you can write it down. So, like I said, because Bhattripad is already ending the 10 with Samama Shamaya Roghan, that's typically the end of the Dashakam. So, but I don't know when the 11 and 12 got added, right? But anyway, we'll do that. So, stanza 11. This stanza will take the 4-liner tune. शाखाघ्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्भां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तथा तदीय वचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि चित्रं देव शशीसते करमघात् किं भ्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिताखिल वपुः प्रागाभिराड्रूपताम्. So 11 and 12. There's another story which is not well known or heard. So very small incident. So it says one day Krishna was sitting with at night with Yashodha and Nandagopa, and then just like Hanuman saw the sun and thought it was a fruit, Krishna sees this white, full rounded moon at the edge of the branch of a tree, and then he thinks it's a fruit, and then he asks Nandagopa, saying, "I need that fruit." So Nandagopa convinces him, tells him that it's not a fruit, it's a moon, you can't get it. So just like Hanuman tried to reach, in this case, Krishna, it says he reached out to his hand, and then the entire body of Krishna then became very white and light in color, right? The entire illumination happened in Krishna's color, body. And Nandagopa and Yashoda realized it for a very brief second. So all of these things that happens, including next Dashakam, they only see it for a fraction of a second and then it goes away. So they don't even believe that they saw it. But at that time, they realize that something great is happening. But immediately, then Krishna, you came back to being a small child. And then they never realized that this actually happened. So that is the story of 11 and 12. So Shaka Gretha, in that print, in that thing I sent, that tha is missing. So you have to add the tha, second tha in Sanskrit. Shaka Gretha Vidhum Vilokya, comma, Phalamityambam cha tatam muhuhu, comma, Samprartyata tada tadiya vachasa, comma, Protkshipta bahau त्वयि शाखाघ्रेत विधुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्भां च तातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तदा तदीय वचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि
शाकाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातां मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तदा तदीयवचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि शाकाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां च तातां मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तदा तदीयवचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि.
First line तातं मुहुः.
Oh, sorry. Yambam chatatam muhu.
शाकाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां शतातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तथा तदीयवचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि शाकाग्रेत विदुं विलोक्य फलमित्यम्बां शतातं मुहुः सम्प्रार्त्यात तथा तदीयवचसा प्रोत्क्षिप्तबाहौ त्वयि
चित्रं देव शशि सते कर्मगात्, comma, किं भ्रूमहे सम्पतः, comma, ज्योतिर्मण्डल पूरिताखिल vapuhu. Vapuhu refers to the body, and the Jyotirmandal referring to the illuminated white light from the moon. So the entire body was filled with white in color. So Jyotirmandala Puritakila Vapuhu, comma, Praga Virad Rupatam. Chitram deva shashisate karamaghat kim bhrumahe sampatah jyotirmandala purita khilavapuh praga virad rupatam.
चित्रं देवशशीसते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागाविराद्रूपताम् चित्रं देवशशीसते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागाविराड्रूपताम्
चित्रं देवशशीसते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः ज्योतिर्मण्डलपूरिता किल वपुः प्रागाविराद्रूपताम् चित्रं देवशशीसते करमगात् किं ब्रूमहे सम्पतः पूरिता किल वपुः प्रागाविराद्रूपताम्.
That's
Rajesh
true.
ji,
Yeah.
actually Krishna Leela Larka, this is new for me. I haven't heard.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is generally not known or not not well known. It is not in Bhagavatam either. So that's why I'm not sure of how and when it got added to Narayaniyam. Like I said, it seems like a addendum, right, to this Dasakam.
Okay.
Because 10th Dasaka, 10th stanza le Bhatripada says Samama Shamaya Rogan, right? He's already said, please eradicate my ailments.
Correct. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
ask.
So on the 11 and 12, I don't know what point it got added, At some point it has gotten added because it is there in a lot of the books.
Okay, thank you.
Stanza 12. Kim kim bhatetamiti sambhrama bhajamenam brahmarnavekshanamamum parimajyatatam mayam punastanaya mohamayim vitanvan ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahi roghat. Like I said, just for a kshanam, they felt Yashoda and Nandagopal saw that and they attained bliss, but immediately they got back to normalcy with Krishna being their small child. Kim kim batedamiti sambhrama bhajamenam, brahmarnave kshanamamum parimajya tatam mayam punas tanaya mohamayim vitanvan, ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahi rogat. Kim kim batedhamiti sambhrama bhajamenam brahmarnavekshanamamum parimajyatatam mayam punastanaya mohamayim vitanvan ananda chinmaya jaganmaya pahi rogat.
किं किं बतेदमिति सम्भ्रमभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनयमोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय पाहि रोगात् किं किं बतेदमिति सम्भ्रमभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनयमोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय पाहि रोगात्
किं किं बतेदमिति सम्ब्रह्मभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मया पाहि रोगात् किं किं बतेदमिति सम्ब्रह्मभाजमेनं ब्रह्मार्णवेक्षणममुं परिमज्यतातं मायां पुनस्तनय मोहमयीं वितन्वन् आनन्दचिन्मय जगन्मया पाहि रोगात्.
Jagan, and the last line, Jaganmaya pahi rogat.
Sorry, Jaganmaya, Maya, right? Jagan.
No, you Maya, you are saying. It says Jaganmaya pahi rogat.
Okay. Jaganmaya pahi rogat.
So then my second line in my book it says parimajyai instead of parimajya.
Majyayi, no, there's no E, there's parimajya thatam there. That's how it's there.
Parimajyai tadam அப்படி கொடுத்திருக்கு.
It doesn't end with the I, so you can just change it to say parimajya. So double ij and one ya. Parimajya.
Correct பண்ணிக்கணும் இல்லையா?
This correct. Okay. Okay, Dasakam 46. 46 is Vishwa Rupa Pradarshana Varnanam. So Yashoda seeing the Vishwa Rupa Darshanam inside Krishna's mouth. So stanza 1. So this follows the this is the 14th Dashakam tune. Samano Smrita Tava Kangri Yugmaha, that tune. Aideva Pura Kilhatwahi Swayamuttana Shahe Sanandhaye Parijrambhanato Vyapavrate Vadane Vishwamachashta Vallavi. So this stanza is occurring technically before that Dashakam 44, where Garga Muni is coming for Namakaranam. So this stanza actually happens before, but Tripada has just combined the flow together because this is a little bit connected. So one day before Garga Muni and all came for the Namakaranam, when Krishna was lying on Yashoda's lap and then he was drinking milk from her breast, like he was a small baby then, less than 1 year old. So at that time he became very happy, drinking the milk from Yashoda. So he smiled and he opened his mouth. So when Krishna opened his mouth, at that time, Yashoda briefly saw the entire planetary system. She sees everything inside there. She sees all the worlds, the sun, the moon, the forest, rivers, everything she sees. But she sees it only for a very fraction of a second. But the moment she sees that, she gets very startled, right? Imagine your small child or your grandson or a baby opens its mouth and you suddenly see all of these things. So she got very startled and she closed her eyes because she was not ready to see what was to be shown, right? So she was not ready at the time. So, and then she thought that something Krishna's got possessed at the time. And then that's when, they call all this, they call, all the sages come to do various things because they're worried that something bad has happened. But then she's also not sure if she really saw something. So she was in that mixed state. So Krishna, you did try to show her one time before, very briefly, the entire cosmos in your mouth, but Yashoda was not ready to receive that information, right? So she just saw it for a very brief second and then it passed away. And then she thought maybe it was a mistake, that it never happened, right? She got confused about it. So that is what is in the first stanza, where Krishna attempted to show once, but Yashoda did not quite see what was inside Krishna's mouth. Ai deva pura kila twayi, Swayam uttanashaye stanandhaye parijrumbhanato vyapavrite, vadane vishwamachashta vallavi, long E. Ahideva pura kilhatvahi swayamuttanashaye stanandhaye parijrumbhanato vyapavrite vadane vishwamachashta vallavi.
अयिदेव पुरा किल त्वयि स्वयमुत्थानशये स्तनन्दये परिजृम्भणतो व्यपावृते वदने विश्वमचाष्टवल्लवी.
Vishwamachashta. You said Chashta Vallavi. Last word.
अयिदेव पुरा किल त्वयि स्वयमुत्थानशये स्तनन्दये परिजृम्भणतो व्यपावृते वदने विश्वमचष्टवल्लवी.
अयि देव पुरा किल त्वयि स्वयमुत्थानशये स्तनन्दये परिजृम्भणतो व्यपावृते वदने विश्वमचस्तवल्लवी. अयि देव पुरा किल त्वयि स्वयमुत्थानशये स्तनन्दये परिजृम्भणतो व्यपावृते वदने विश्वमचस्तवल्लवी.
That's it too. Punarapyata bhalakai samham twahi leela nirate jagatmate phala sanchaya vanchana krudha tava mrit bhojanamūchurarbhakaah. So now we'll fast forward to the current day because that one happened a little earlier when Krishna was less than 1 year old. So this day, current day, so Krishna was with the boys and Balarama and they were all playing and they all were eating some fruits which they refused to share with Krishna. So Krishna stole the fruits from them. So at the time, the boys initially went and complained a little bit to Mother Yashoda saying Krishna is troubling, but she didn't care about it. They can't complain too much because even they were eating stolen fruit. So if they go and tell that Krishna is stealing, the question is going to come up, where did you get it? And they have to answer all that. So they said the best way to put Krishna in trouble is to say that they went and told Yashoda, this boy is uncontrollable, and you won't believe what he's doing. He's eating mud, right? Mrid, which comes mrid bhojanam. So he's actually eating mud as his food. So they go and complain saying, Yashoda, you have to take control of this boy because we cannot manage him because they're all small boys anyways, right? So they go and complain to Yashoda. Punarapyata balakaihi, putta is balakais samam, comma, tvai leela nirate jagatpate, phala sanchaya vanchana krudha, comma, tava mrid bhojanam. I'm just breaking at that ma. Bhojanam ऊचुरर्भकाः पुनरप्यतबालकैः समं त्वहि लीला निरते जगत्पते फलसञ्चयवञ्चनक्रुधा तव मृद्भोजनमूचुरर्भकाः
पुनरप्यत बालकैः समं त्वयि लीलानिरते जगत्पते फलसञ्चय वञ्चनकृधा तव मृद्भोजनम् ऊचुरर्बकाः पुनरप्यत बालकैः समं त्वयि लीलानिरते जगत्पते फलसञ्चय वञ्चनकृता तव मृद्भोजनमूचुरर्बकाः
पुनरप्यत बालकै समं त्वयि लीला निरते जगत्पते फलसञ्चय वञ्चनकृदा तव मृद्भोजनम् ऊचुरर्बकाः.
And then second line, sorry, Vijay, and Shaita, you also, the second line, that word is oo sound, krudha, okay. I think both are saying kr sound, it's krudha.
वञ्चनकृत्
Krudha, yeah. Krudha, Kru.
पुनरप्यत बालकै समं त्वयि लीला निरते जगत्पते फलसञ्चय वञ्चनकृदा तव मृद्भोजनम् ऊचुरर्बकाः.
That's 3. अहिते प्रलयावधौ विभो क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुपाशनतो रुजा भवेत् इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा. So like any mother, Yashoda is getting very angry at first, saying, why you're eating mud, and she's about to get angry. So Bhattaripat says, saying, why is Yashoda getting angry for Krishna eating mud? He says, when the pralayam happens, the entire 14 worlds, which includes all the worlds, the trees, the land, the water, everything is going into this Narayana. So at that time, nobody complains, nobody's worried about Krishna eating it, but now Krishna eats a little mud and Yashoda is getting worried about it. So he says, nothing to worry, nothing will happen to Krishna because he's the one who consumes everything. So, there's just question here. But Yashoda is getting angry. Janani Chukopasa, she's beginning to get angry. Aite pralayavadhau vibho, kshiti toyadi samasta bhakshinaha mridu pashanato ruja bhavet. So the D that is there, we're going to break it into a it and a E. So bhavet, iti bhita janani chukopasa. Ahite pralayavadhau vibho क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुपाशनतो रुजा भवेत् इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा.
अयिते प्रलयावधौ विभो क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुभाषणतो रुजा भवेत् इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा अयि ते प्रलयावदौ विभो क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुभाषणतो रुजा भवेत् इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा
अयिते प्रलयावदौ विभो क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुपाशनतोरुजा भवेत् इति भीतजननी चुकोपसा
And the iti bhita.
इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा अयिते प्रलयावदौ विभो क्षितितो यादि समस्तभक्षिणः मृदुपाशनतोरुजा भवेत् इति भीता जननी चुकोपसा.
Yep. We'll switch halfway. Nalini, you can be a student, and Shubhari, you can be a student. Thanks for Ahi durvinayatmakatvaya kimumritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matrugiram chiram vibho bitatam tvam pratijagnishe hasan. So Yashoda then goes and asks Krishna that, and we all, anybody who's been parents have kind of, asked that, right? Saying that there's so many things to eat at home. Why would you go and eat mud? Right? So that is what Yashoda is also saying, how can you be so restless that you're going and eating mud? And I've seen so much butter, so much ghee and milk and all these things. And I can't even imagine why somebody would go put mud in their mouth, right? So that's what Yashoda is also telling Krishna, saying, why would you do that? Did you eat it? So at that time, like any small child would respond, Krishna responds by saying, no, I did not. And if you've seen small children, they also laugh a little bit when they are lying. So Krishna laughs a little bit because he wants Yashoda to test him. So he laughs and says, no, I did not, And then, Yashoda says, but Balarama and everybody is telling that you have eaten mud. So Krishna says, no, they all have some fight with me going on. So they're all lying. And then I didn't eat. But he doesn't say it with a stern face. He still continues to laugh a little. So Yashoda will prod further. Ai durvina yatmaka tvaya, kimu mritsa bata vatsa bhakshita iti matragiram chiram vibho, vitatam tvam prati jagnishe hasan. Ahi durvinayatmakatvaya kimu mritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matragiram chiram vibho bitatam tvam pratijagnishe hasan.
Ayi durvinayatmakatvaya kimu mritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matrugiram chiram vibho vitadham tvam pratijagnishe hasan. Ayi durvinayatmakatvaya kimu mritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matrugiram chiram vibho vitadham tvam pratijagnishe hasan.
Ayi durvinayatmakatvaya kimumritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matra giram chiram vibho pitatam tvam pratijagnishe hasan. Ayi durvinayatmakatvaya kimumritsa batavatsa bhakshita iti matra giram chiram vibho vitatam tvam pratijagnishe hasan.
Pratijagnishe.
Pratijagnishe hasan.
That's up, right? Ahite sakalair vinishchite vimatischet vadanam vidharyatam iti matra vibhatsito mukham vikasat padmanibham vyadharayah. So then Yashoda says, okay, Krishna, if you're so confident, if you're so particular that you haven't eaten the mud, then open your mouth, right? So, I always say this is very similar to that Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. eating sugar, no, Papa. Krishna says, no, I did not eat the mud. Telling lies, Krishna says, no, I'm not lying. She says, open your mouth, right? So Krishna says, okay, if I'm saying so many times that I have not eaten the mud, but if you're so particular to check, he says, okay, I'll open my mouth, right? So like we said, the first stanza, Krishna tried to show that to Yashoda, but she was not ready at that time to receive that information. Now Krishna feels Yashoda is ready to see, right? So at that time, because of Padma Nibham, your lotus-like mouth, O Krishna, you then opened it wide so Yashoda can see everything that is inside there. Aite sakalair vinishchite, vimatish chedvadanam vidaryatam, iti matra vibhatsito mukham, vikasat padmanibham vyadarayah. Ahite sakalair vinishchite vimatiश्चेद्वदनं विधार्यताम् iti matru vibhatsito mukham vikasat padmanibham vyadharayah.
Ayite sakalairvinishchite vimatiश्चेद्वदनं vidaryatam iti matru vibhatsito mukham vikasat padmanibham vyadarayah. Ayite sakalairvinishchite vimatiश्चेद्वदनं vidaryatam iti matru vibhatsito mukham vikasat padmanibham vyadarayah.
ऐते सकलैर्विनिश्चिते विमितश्चेद्वदनं विदार्यताम् इति मात्र विभर्त्सितो मुखं विकसत्पद्मनिभं व्यदारयः ऐते सकलैर्विनिश्चिते विमितश्चेद्वदनं विदार्यताम् इति मात्र विभर्त्सितो मुखं विकसत्पद्मनिभं व्यदारयः.
And the first line, Shubha, after the comma, vimatiश्चेद्वदनं.
Vimatiश्चेद्वदனம். Okay.
Stanza 6. Apimrlavadarshanotsukham jananim tam bahutarpayanniva prithivim nikhilam na kevalam bhuvananyapyakilanyadhidrishaha. So this goes on for 6, 7, 8, 9, talks about what all Yashoda saw. So it goes in stages. So whether Krishna ate mud or not is not relevant here. The point is, Yashoda thought Krishna has eaten mud. So Krishna's leela here is to make his mother feel correct. So because then, when Yashoda tells Krishna to open the mouth, she was expecting to see a little bit of mud. So Krishna said, why will it disappoint my mother? Right? I will then deliver above expectations, right? So when she looks into his mouth, she then begins to see the entire world as in all the planetary systems. And it talks in details about what she sees a little later. So, the beauty of this thing is, generally we say when we create something with a Play-Doh or something, right? We create, that's a creation, and we are the creator who is sitting outside of the Play-Doh. So we are separate from the creation, right? It's this creation is there. We created an article. We are sitting here. But in this case, the way it is all these things is going to get mixed, right? The entire creation is going to be inside the mouth of the creator. And the creator himself is sitting inside the creation also, right? So this Krishna is going to show this infinite of things that are going to be happening here. So when she sees inside, he says, Akhilam, he sees everything she is able to actually see inside Krishna's mouth. That's how this time we'll see what she sees in the next one. So not just little earth, she's able to see everything inside Krishna's mouth. Api mrillava darshanot sukham, jananim tam bahu tarpayanniva prithivim nikhilam na kevalam, bhuvananyapyakilanya dhidrishaha. That word you cannot break it. It's bhuvanani api akhilani dhidrishaha. So not only the earth, but also all of the other worlds she's able to see. So bhuvananyapyakilanya dhidrishaha. अपि मृल्लवदर्शनोत्सुकां जननीं तां बहुतर्पयन्निव पृथिवीं निखिलां न केवलं भुवनान्यप्यखिलान्यधीदृशः
अपि मृल्लवदर्शनोत्सुकां जननीं तां बहुतर्पयन्निव पृथिवीं निखिलां न केवलं भुवनान्यप्यखिलान्यदीदृशः अपि मृल्लवदर्शनोत्सुकां जननीं तां बहुतर्पयन्निव पृथिवीं निखिलां न केवलं भुवनान्यप्यखिलान्यदीदृशः
अपि मृल्लवदर्शनोत्सुकां जननीं तां बहुतर्पयन्निव पृथिवीं निखिलां न केवलं भुवनान्यप्यखिलान्यदीदृशः अपि मृल्लवदर्शनोत्सुकां जननीं तां बहुतर्पयन्निव पृथिवीं निखिलां न केवलं भुवनान्यप्यखिलान्यदीदृशः.
Stanza 7. कुहचिन्मनमम्बुधि क्वचित् क्वचिदभ्रं कुहचिद्रसातलं मनुजादनुजाः क्वचित् सुराः ददृशे किं न तदा त्वधानने. So what all she saw? She saw everything in this 14 worlds that moves, like birds, everything, and also things that don't move, which are like the mountains and everything. She sees the outer space. She sees things in all directions. And then she sees the water, the sky, the mountains, the forest, oceans, everything. She's seeing the earth. She sees the moon. She sees the stars. She sees all the planetary systems. She says sometimes she's seeing the upper worlds. Sometimes she's seeing the Rasathalam, the lower worlds. So all of the 14 worlds, which is what the Virat Purusha is embodying inside of the Virat Purusha, she's seeing everything inside of Krishna's mouth. She sees the Panchabhuta, she sees all the sky, earth, water, light. And if you go back to our Dashakam 5 and 6 and everything, where we talk about how the Mahat comes, Ahankaram, the Tanmatram, how the creation of the universe is happening and how it is all layered. So she's seeing all of that. She sees how time changes, so every little thing that is there about the cosmos, Yashoda is seeing in Krishna's mouth. So she's literally getting the entire, cosmos being created, everything she's seeing inside. And he says, Bhattacharya says, what all did she not see inside Krishna's mouth, right? Because at the end of the day, everything has come from that Narayana. So everything that has been manifested, she sees. Everything that is still unmanifested and is sitting as Prakriti or just material nature, she's seeing that also. So everything that is to be seen, she's able to see inside Krishna's mouth. Kuhachit Vanam Ambudhihi. I'm just breaking those three things. So Vanam is forest, Ambudhi is ocean. So Kuhachit Vanam Ambudhihi, put a ih sound. Ambudih Kwachite, comma. Kwachidabhram Kuhachid Rasatalam. You can break it as Kuhachid Rasatalam. So Kuhachid Rasatalam. Manuja Dhanujaha, put a ih sound. Dhanujah Kwachit Suraha. So add a visarga there after Sura. Suraha, comma. So she sees humans, she sees the demigods, she sees the asuras. Suraha, comma. Dadrishe kim na tada tvadanane. Kuhachid vanamambhude kwachite. Kwachidabhram kuhachidrasatalam. Manuja danujah kwachit suraha. Dadrishe kim na tada tvadanane.
कुहचिद्वनमम्बुधि क्वचित् क्वचिदभ्रं कुहचिद्रसातलं मनुजादनुजाः क्वचित् सुराः ददृशे किं न तदा त्वदाननि कुहचिद्वनमम्बुधि क्वचित् क्वचिदभ्रं कुहचिद्रसातलं मनुजादनुजाः क्वचित् सुराः ददृशे किं न तदा त्वदाननि.
कुहचित् वनम् अम्बुधिः क्वचिदप्रं कुहचित् रसातलम् मनुजादनुजाः क्वचित् सुराः ददृशे किं न तदा त्वदानने कुहचित् वनम् अम्बुधिः क्वचिदप्रं कुहचित् रसातलम् मनुजादनुजाः क्वचित् सुराः ददृशे किं न तदा त्वदानने.
Stanza 8. कलशाम्बुदिशाहिनं पुनः परवैकुण्ठपदाधिवासिनं स्वपुरश्च निजार्भकात्मकं कतिधा त्वां न दधर्ष सामुखे. So as if all of seeing the 14 worlds and the creation and everything, as if that is not sufficient enough, you know, Yashoda is now seeing what Brahma saw in Dasakam 7. I was teaching Dasakam 7 to a different class yesterday. So, when the creation is going on and Brahma, first day of Brahma, he hears the tapa, and then he starts meditating. And eventually he gets a darshan of Vaikuntham. And then in stanza 8, it says, Kalam Bodha Kalaya Komala Ruchi, where he sees Lord Narayana in Vaikuntham. He sees that Narayana with that dark bluish gray color. He's having the 8 hands at the time. He's having all the Chaturbhujam, the things in the 4 hands of Shankam, Chakram, Gadam, Padmam, everything, with Mahalakshmi, with everybody around, all of that Brahma had to meditate so many thousands of years to be able to see in Vaikuntham. Yashoda is sitting in Vrindavan and then looking into Krishna's mouth, and she is getting that darshan, right? So when Shukha Brahmam explains this to Parikshit, so Parikshit is not able to get it. How can it be that, if you show something to somebody who understands, then there's a lot of value to it, right? Brahma at the time was creating. So Brahma had to see the big boss at the time, right? Lord in Vaikuntham. He says, but Yashoda is like a cowherd woman. She's not even educated. So even if you show all these things, she can't understand how all this creation happens. And how is Yashoda sitting in Vaikuntham, sitting in Vrindavan and not doing any tapas? And she just looks into Krishna's mouth, and Krishna is showing all these things to her, which only Brahma gets to see. Right? That's the question which Parikshit asked Shukha Brahmam, and that's when Shukha Brahmam goes and explains the backstory of Dara and Drona, about the Nanda and Yashoda, how they were in their previous life, how much tapas they did, and how one of their wishes was to be born along with the incarnation of the Lord to fall in transcendental love with the Lord. So he goes through that backstory, saying it is not just by luck that Yashoda is getting to see. It is not, she had really built up that karma to be able to be born along with Krishna as Krishna's parents, because of which she is getting this darshan. Because Nandagopa is not getting this. Only Yashoda is getting this darshan inside. So anyway, so with this, he says, what all katida twamna dadarsha. He says, what else is left, O Krishna, for you to show to Yashoda? You literally shown her the 14 worlds, and you've shown her the Vaikuntham also. There's nothing more that is left to be shown. So Kalashambhudi Shayinam Punaha, Para Vaikuntha Padadivasinam Swapurascha Nijar Bhakatmakam, Katidha Twam Na Dadarsha Sa Mukhe. Kalashambhudishahinam Punaha Paravaikuntha Padadivasinam Swapurascha Nijar Bhakatmakam Katidha Twam Na Dadarsha Sa Mukhe.
कलशाम्बुधिशायिनं पुनः परवैकुण्ठपदाधिवासिनं स्वपुरश्च निजार्भकात्मकं कतिधा त्वां न ददर्श सामुखे कलशाम्बुधिशायिनं पुनः परवैकुण्ठपदाधिवासिनं स्वपुरश्च निजार्भकात्मकं कतिधा त्वां न ददर्श सामुखे
कलसाम्बुदिशायिनं पुनः परवैकुण्ठपदादिवासिनं स्वपुरश्च निजार्भकात्मकं कतिदा त्वां न ददर्श सामुखे. कलसाम्बुदिशायिनं पुनः परवैकुण्ठपदादिवासिनं स्वपुरश्च निजार्भकात्मकं कतिदा त्वां न ददर्श सामुखे.
Answer 9. Vikasad bhuvane mukodhare nanu bhuyopi tata vidhananah anaya sputamikshito bhavan anavastam jagatam batatanut. So not only in all the various possible forms that you can see Krishna, then what now Yashoda sees is, now she sees another Krishna. She's now is able to come to from Vrindavan, from Vaikuntham, she's coming to Vrindavan, and she's seeing another Yashoda sitting and looking at Krishna, and inside that Krishna's mouth, the entire universe is there. So she's seeing herself in Vrindavan, looking into Krishna's mouth, inside this Krishna's mouth. So when she sees all of these things, and I'm going to jump into the stanza 10. So when she sees all of these things, like imagine, right? Even having a look at this, you won't know what to do. So at that time, even Yashoda is feeling the same thing, but she's able to see all of this thing, and she cannot believe what she's seeing. She's even trying to understand first what she's seeing. At that time, what happens is she also gets the ultimate knowledge of saying that you are not you. The soul that is there is permanent, and it is part of the same Paramatma. And all this Krishna is doing, Krishna is acting like your child. He is the Paramatma. Nanda Gopa is married to you because he's just married to you right now. So all of the knowledge that is required, Yashoda gets it for a second. And she's truly coming to realize, saying that I am not who I think I am, right? She gets that knowledge. But if she remains like that, then Krishna Avataram is not going to progress, right? Krishna needs her to be as a mother. That is the purpose. So while Krishna gave her that supreme knowledge of seeing that everything is in me, I am that supreme Bhagavan, and you are also part of me only. All this was there only for that period. The moment she realizes that information, there's a switching point comes where she says, okay, I know who I am right now. The moment she comes to that information, Krishna immediately shuts his mouth and calls out his mother's name, saying, I need milk. So the moment she does it, suddenly Yashoda forgets everything she saw, and so the realization she got of who she was, everything goes away. And she thinks, I am a mother. I'm married to Nandagopa. I have this child called Krishna. And my duty is that of, making butter, and I have to take care of my child. And she really immediately comes back to reality, and then takes care of Krishna. So he says, with this, Krishna, all this that you're doing is a leela you want, because while you've given your mother the knowledge, the purpose of this incarnation, or for Yashoda also, is to have that child love with Krishna. So that's why you continue to treat her that way. That is why it is called a leela here. Anyway, the same thing is going to happen to, later on to Brahma also. But so Vikasat Bhuvane Mukhodare, Nanu Bhuyopi Tatha Vidhananah Anaya Sputam Ikshito Bhavan. So that na I'm breaking, putting it in Bhavan, Next word starts with the A. Anavastam Jagatam Batatanut. Vikasad Bhuvane Mukhodare Nanu Bhuyopi Tatha Vidhananah Anaya Sputamikshito Bhavan Anavastam Jagatam Batatanut.
विकसद्भुवने मुखोदरे ननु भूयोऽपि तथा विधाननः अनया स्फुटमीक्षितो भवान् अनवस्थां जगतां बतातनोत् विकसद्भुवने मुखोदरे ननु भूयोऽपि तथा विधाननः अनया स्फुटमीक्षितो भवान् अनवस्थां जगतां बतातनोत्
विकसद्भुवने मुकोदरे ननु भूयोऽपि तदा विदाननः अनया स्फुटमीक्षितो भवान् अनवस्थां जगतां बतातनोत् विकसद्भुवने मुकोदरे ननु भूयोऽपि तदा विदाननः अनया स्फुटमीक्षितो भवान् अनवस्थां जगतां बतातनोत्.
Batatanot ends with itang and the word.
Okay, बतातनोत्.
Dhrita tattva dhiyam tadakshanam, jananim tam pranayena mohayan stanamamba dishetyupasajan, bhagavannadbhuta bala pahima. धृततत्त्वधियं तदाक्षणं जननीं तां प्रणयेन मोहयन् स्तनमम्ब दिशेत्युपासजन् भगवन्नद्भुतबाल पाहि माम्.
धृततद्वधियं तदाक्षणं जननीं तां प्रणयेन मोहयन् स्तनमम्बदिशेत्युपासजन् भगवन्नद्भुतबाल पाहि माम्. धृततद्वधियं तदाक्षणं जननीं तां प्रणयेन मोहयन् स्तनमम्बदिशेत्युपासजन् भगवन्नद्भुतबाल पाहि माम्.
त्रिटतत्त्वधियं तदाक्षणं जननीं तां प्रणयेन मोहयन् स्तनमम्बदिशेत्युपाशजन् भगवन्नद्भुतबाल पाहि माम्. त्रिटतत्त्वधियं तदाक्षणं जननीं तां प्रणयेन मोहयन् स्तनमम्बदिशेत्युपासजन् भगवन्नद्भुतबाल पाहि माम्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Sorry, somebody had a question. So anyway, the 10th one, the 10th stanza here, this long description of what feeling Yashoda has, which I kind of mostly said it, but when somebody has to get liberated, you have to come to the realization that what you say as me and mine are not, right? Like we say my family, my things, right? Me. So all of that perception has to go away. So, knowing that, I am just there incarnating in this being, right? My soul is incarnating in this birth for me, and none of this truly belongs to me. And my whole purpose is to serve the Lord. So that is that realization that Yashoda is getting. First he comes to saying, Nanda Gopa, all these cows and all these houses and everything that I have is not mine, right? She comes to the realization anyway. Then she comes back to this. Okay, so we have another 10 minutes. So 47, 48 are together, and we should be able to finish it in the next class. But I'll probably just do 2 stanzas so we don't run out of time next class. We'll do the meaning in the next class. But so 47 is Ulukala Bandhana Varnanam. Ulukala referring to that mortar in which they store the grains. So tying Krishna to the mortar is 47, and then what happens is in 48. Stanza 1. एकदा धदिविमातकारिणीं मातरं समुपसेदिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्य पपिवान् पयोधरौ. So I'll say the meanings together in the next class. Ekada dhadi vimatha karinīm, mataram samupasedivan bhavan stanya lolu pataya nivarayan. So if you have a double na there, put a in nivarayan, next word starts with the a. Ankametya papivan payodharau. Ekada dhadi vimathakarinīm मातरं समुपसेदिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्य पपिवान् पयोधरौ.
एकदा दधिविमाधकारिणीं मातरं समुपसेदिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्य पपिवान् पयोधरौ. एकदा दधिविमाधकारिणीं मातरं समुपसेदिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्य पपिवान् पयोधरौ.
एकदा दधिविमातकारिणीं मातरं समुपसे दिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्यपपिवान् पयोधरौ एकदा दधिविमातकारिणीं मातरं
Samupasedi. The word you cannot break that word. So samupasedivan.
समुपसेदिवान् भवान् स्तन्यलोलुपतया निवारयन् अङ्कमेत्यपपिवान् पयोधरौ
Ardha pita kucha kudmale tvayi, comma, snigdha hasa madurananam bhuje dugdamisha dahane parisrutam, comma, dhartumashu janani jagamate. अर्धपीतकुचकुड्मले त्वहि स्निग्धहासमधुराननाम्बुजे दुग्धमीशदहने परिसृतं धर्तुमाशु जननी जगामते.
अर्धपीतकुचकुड्मले त्वयि स्निग्धहासमधुराननाम्बुजे दुग्धमीशदहने परिसृतं धर्तुमाशु जननी जगामते. अर्धपीतकुचकुड्मले त्वयि स्निग्धहासमधुराननाम्बुजे दुग्धमीशदहने परिसृतं धर्तुमाशु जननी जगामते.
अर्धपीठकुचकुड्मले त्वयि स्निग्धहासमधुराननाम्बुजे दुग्धमीशदहने परिश्रुतं धर्तुमाशु जननी जगामते. अर्धपीठकुचकुड्मले त्वयि स्निग्धहासमधुराननाम्बुजे दुग्धमीशदहने परिश्रुतं धर्तुमाशु जननी जगामते.
Stop the class here today. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadebhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasya bhanam aspashtam drishtamatre पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye. Bye.